From now until enlightenment, take refuge in the Buddha. Invite a make creating I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. May creating this practice for the benefit of all things.
Oh yeah, for example, some of the Paragona, Mungoni Sia, the Bani Sia, Kitchen Sadia, Mungo or Rules of the Vala. Nigo open. Now, when the children go on the map, you check the water, in West. Conjure City Galata, Gizen the Talat in the top where. Never do. Cut off like the gym. What a thing we are. Diggy, Monkoti. What do Sinji and Gore? Any Munjur Conjur. Any Shinko City Galata, only young. She's Jambaji, Karsore. Lung Conalten Tawaya, to see Ungore. That is all. Any that the Bani Siva, the Bani Sivala. Then Kang la them be seated, them be low Kunzo below Mola then Devi. What a teller Kunzo the Bas. Low Yantapa and low Manaro Matua. Riba Ishi Sita, only Parchanella. What a tea doing one of the things, sometimes in Bas and Denchegi Shedian, moving is one. Patrick Jenna will Nora method, 2 method. But that chip only low Namji Yungi Jenna, then a quite tending. What a thing is in the and then the passage to stick in kitchen, Chago.
Some of the important points that we covered last Sunday were it's on page 303 if you have a book, Manifest and Hidden Object, and then True Truth. So for the manifest and the hidden object, we discussed about things that can be perceived by 5 sense organs: form, sounds, odor, taste, and tangible objects. And for these, in order to perceive, they should be encountering between the organ and the senses and the object. And hidden object refers to a phenomenon that must be known through depending on a reason or a sign. And then we also discussed about the third type of phenomena, that is extremely hidden. And the extremely hidden phenomena can be known through by relying upon scriptures only. And we also discussed about the true truth, that's on page 305. True truth, conventional truth are the truth that is true only to the conventional mind, to put in another way of defining this truth. And meaning of the ultimate truth is a truth which is true to the ultimate mind, or the mind which is not mistaken, or wisdom mind, or the mind of the uninterrupted path of seeing. So whatever is true to this mind, it is considered as the ultimate truth, or truth which is valid only to the standard mind, or wisdom mind, or intelligent mind.
What are those in Kanche, Dembani, the Mississippi Chadiara, Nanda Republican Chagina, the Bani Chimachi Shiva, Package and Water. Kangla then betray Lokunzo Patiji, Munji. Tele Denje, Tanya to Chi, around to Cheba Machegala, Nansu condition, but the Nana, the guy is a year negligent. Now the guy is a year negligent, the Kuzo, Lokunzo, the Chitoa. Ah, Tundam Dembas, Digala. One Chepache, Hatu Nepanye of Digala, Royan Tapa. You know, Sunta Nudete. Ani Treba Tamje Lord the king. Treba Tamje the Lord, Treba Tamje. In the she did it, Treba Nishi on the day. Sunday, up on the show, Parchamilam Chato. What he Treba de la Kazanji song, Shijingi Treba, Kunzo Treba, Yujingi Treba. Ani Gachi Treba, Treba the Mongo. But I Treba. Sidigalata, he Matu some Jankara. Some Rilam Gachi Tripala, Gacha any known to Dena, Gachi Tripas and Chagor. Some Lini, you sing you the Eugene Ganges on to Dena, you Eugene Tripas, the Tripas and Chipachikansi. But the Tigati Chabade, Matu Lepa Pechetam. Any Shuyant Churatunamjiki, Sherapichitami. Any June courage about it, around the coalent to what I shit what Javadi, then it's the kitchen
for So the understanding of the true truth is important generally in Buddhist teaching. When we look at these true truths, the conventional truth refers to the way phenomena exist according to how normally they appear to us, or at the level of appearance. We have one reality, and that is based on, as we said before, conventional mind, how things simply appear to us. Now, the second level, the ultimate truth is the reality of the phenomena, which is the conclusion of a series of analysis and investigation. So there's another reality which not only satisfying with how things appear to us, but rather kind of putting through the subject of analysis, investigation. And when you do that, whatever comes to the conclusion, it should be valid. It should be ultimate to the standard mind. So when we talk about ultimate truth, we mentioned before, ultimate truth, is pure from duality. That there's a gap or distance between subject and object. There's no duality. There is no negative or exaggerations of any kind. At the ordinary level, conventional level, there are lots of exaggerations, the way things appear to us. But in ultimate level, all exaggerations has been ceased. It doesn't exist. So we mentioned last time about different types of exaggerations. Exaggerations based on mind itself, conventional exaggerations, or duality, subject and object, as seeing a gap between subject and object, and object of negation. So here, what is important is using one's own wisdom, mind, and try to analyze and understand, the nature of the phenomena.
군소벨라 양답 군소벨라 로버 군소벨 장고도 대 내가 지어래 군소비나 나랑서 지단이 수수기 위기 로라 풀리 캡스를 수고 엄마 탱규 로라 양 좀더 엄마 삼당겨 엄마 탱규 로라 수수기 위기 로라 풀리 캡스 대세과 규정 가와든 수수기 위기로 인친젤라 Venjingi nang diya reis, venang diya reis, temperatu be nawa diya reis. Ye inzang suzuki yi da, venang ye chinchela lo yang tabo mare, lo tuwa reis. Wata ke sungwa. Ina yang, yi dela, hagi nangsul tardu, hagi tanya tu, jo tuk nganchi tang. Ani nangsul tardu, tanya tu, jo mitu ganchi, lo nyingu kwa reis. 제상 낭술다도 타니도 조통인데라 양다 고소스 낭술다도 타니도 조미도 로 출변하는 양출 왔다 로로시지라 아니 다 로베 고소스 또 지금도 그래서 직양 당기 도모만인가 진짜 양 개발지 세번째 방에 수세계 기기 출시 인구에 들어가라 당기 유자지
About the conventional truth, it's on page 306. We discussed last time. The conventional truth is generally not divided into two real and unreal conventionalities, but based on the relative to the common worldly consciousness, they are two conventional truth. So this is very unique assertion of the consequent school, Madhyamika Prasangika. So according to this school, if for the ordinary being's consciousness, it must be or necessarily has to be mistaken consciousness, because according to this school only, ordinary consciousness has to be necessarily a consciousness which has appearance of truth appearance, and whenever there is a truth appearance of the things, it is considered as a not valid or not standard, or there's an illusion, mistaken. So if you look at page 306, conventional truths are not divided into real conventionalities and unreal conventionalities. This is because there are no real conventionalities according to this school. For conventionalities are necessarily not real, since conventionalities are necessarily unreal, in the sense that they appear to be inherently existent, but are not inherently existent. However, related to ordinary worldly consciousness, then conventional truths are divided into two, real and unreal. And the real here, the illustration or example given was for relative to a common worldly consciousness, a form is real, and related to a common worldly consciousness, reflection of a face in the mirror is unreal. So also, and a reflection in the mirror is unreal conventionalities, and other example would be seeing a striped robe and appearance of striped robe in the dim light as a snake. When you see a striped robe quite like a snake, you have an appearance, or you have a thought that I'm seeing a snake, which actually is not. It's considered as a unreal, conventional, because this is not real to the valid, consciousness or valid mind. Other mistaken unreal, sort of illusion of seeing one's hair falling off, although actually it's not happening. Which I mentioned about Jangbo Wangchu, which is said as somebody from somebody in Ladakh who sort of was always involved in hunting and killing animals, especially wild animals. And later part of the life, he has a sort of illusions or mistaken seeing of animal's hair in his noodle or soup, or kind of his hair falling off. So it is considered that when somebody creates immense negative activities, one will experience these kind of illusions.
하기 단지 머리 뱅긴 번도 도지 아니 여와 가지지 사샤바데 아니 니그와 다세야 인디기 삼로지 땅도 있나 오니 응랑주 미제 전남된 바세 대티 데레 아니 타마 아니 배 응랑주 내가 찬도디 갈라 너시시 제니 수도 그래서 여름 수도 받게 가때 파라상가데 보디세세 응랑주 미텔에 잠이 여름 수도 이거는 이제 아주 덴디지 자리나 아주 지금 말이 아주 다 단단한 다가 가상 간데 이어버지 길이 이래 삼삼지 연구할 때 이만 손대 깨지 마이나 배 깨지 뭐 망보도 살래 배 공바 덴디 망보 배 살이요 다 덴디 인디가라 아주 레나당 단진당 덴디 고왕이 아주 연구 앞으로 그다 되게 삼당 거래 양해하고 삼당 여러분이 차지 손대 년도 하지니 인체 상인이 자야래서는 야외이나 이게 쓰면 되게 말아 아직 등이 잡에 소샤자데 셈나장 랑 유기 뉴모 예기 답시지 누스 제베이나 아주 취지 즉 간디시 제베이나 자와데 간디시 제베이 추수가 해와 그래서 페미스베 개침도 통도스
So the example that we mentioned before, just before, is considered as something that we can, consider as a karmic result ripening within kind of one lifetime, or sort of, quickly. And as we said before, truth appearance here, what it refers to is as if phenomena exist independently, or intrinsically, or objectively or self-sufficiently existing out there without kind of relying upon any other things. And we have this kind of appearance of wrong or mistaken appearance from many past lifetimes, and along with that we have misconception of permanent, grasping to permanent, as we mentioned before, thoughts that I will never die, I will live forever, kind of without changing. It is kind of helpful when you use this kind of understanding in your whatever Buddhist practice that you do. Use your practice as an antidote to eliminate these negative thoughts, or use your practice as a way or method or means to reduce the level of ignorance, or use your practices as a means or methods to get rid of creating negative activities. And so if you do that, use all your practices kind of as a means and method to kind of improve your quality, personality, or positive thoughts, then one can turn one's life into kind of meaningful life. So that's actually what His Holiness taught us when he did teaching on Heart Sutra. He uses the Heart Sutra mantra, kind of understand that mantra in terms of one's own lifetime. So
세야데 나랑도 미젤레셔 아니 당보 송 당보데 지바슈 이니 타르마 이니 타르요 이니 겐고 장주 지수 시디자가 파시메트리 로에서 송사 오예니 숫자데요 도 수지 야르투리나 Nyamlenchal Pensarwas. The Mitoji Chayaman.
So His Holiness mentioned about gate, gone, the mantra. He mentioned us kind of using or matching with first gone as our childhood, then as an adult, then grown up, then old age, and then the final part, laying down the foundation of enlightenment. He kind of used the metaphor of cemetery. So if you use this understanding of mantra to our kind of practical life, then we can make a great difference. So it would be helpful to ourselves and our practice, when you translate His Holiness teaching into actual practice. Simply, one shouldn't be kind of satisfied with, His Holiness, good teaching at the audience. Whatever you listen to His Holiness teaching, keep those teachings in mind, and then use those teachings, as said before, as a means or method to eliminate, reduce the level of negative thoughts, ignorance, not knowing, and so through that, whatever activities that we do, all deeds or activities can be directed towards Dharma practices.
Taya Chaparti didn't do words. Zen, dear Mo, Jibong open the Jing, said that. Takar Tanguin, Tumoma in the cheese, theory. Rangiva Majid, De Moni, Tapa, Tatawa open the word, Rangiva Majid. And De Mo open the gate. Dema said, Jipang open the word. De Mong open the word, Jipang open the naked. Jipang open there, said the Jipang open in Guay, Cousin Pumpa Jipadi, Pumpal than Kivarawa. Pumba Jipi Chachila, Pumba Meason, Pumba Garbage, Pumba Jibascora, Pumbal Kay. The Kay in Zanko, what a tenny in the gala, he and thank you to Muma in the child. And that the new name, Mamboma Juchet is under my agenda to my beings.
And another also unique assertion of this school, Consequent School, on page 307. Middle of the page is the pastness, futureness, and this integratedness are asserted to be functioning things, capable of producing an effect rather than permanent phenomena. So, specifically, disintegration, according to this school, is considered as the functioning thing. So when you look at the previous school, middle way autonomous school and all lower school, their interpretation is past and future, pastness and futureness is considered as a permanent thing, and while the present, they consider it as a functioning thing. But here, this school, Consequent School, considered, or interpret pastness and futureness, and especially the disintegratedness, as to be kind of functioning thing. Because disintegratedness, for example, this integration of part or race. So if there's a destruction of part or race, that destruction came from that very object, the vase. So if there's a vase getting destroyed, that destruction, that vase is the source or origin of that destruction, that disintegration. So therefore, according to this school, disintegratedness is considered as something functioning thing, not something kind of permanent.
다 율진도 주도 산데 niba yuching it ta daji phumbo am ji am ngam jilatene tabe ngachamde kaza ke chenji de jingis ta yujing kaza asidala ta kanisa daji phumbo jam ngalatene tabe ngasikto phumbo ngalatene tabe ngade phumbo nga chocham sin tabe ngade tada debe khande ja chawo zume khamla zugi phumbo nainsa sore phumbo dushing mo number sore phumbo jimani yawa 제가 주메켄 가자데 다지들라 공부 일을 따져 아니 저기 감나 주감도 공부 알아서는 따버려 어떤 제가 니 라운드 얘기하는데 파다라 근데 따다 내기도 니봐 공부 알아서니 가자 공부가 초점라 가자는 따져도 가자 이 체시자 저거 가자자 저거 그렇게 이치 순거
And we'll move on to the next topic, that's assertion regarding object possessors or subjects, page 307. The persons. The consequentialist asserts that a person is the mere I that is imputed in dependence upon its basis of imputation, which are either the five mental and physical aggregates. So this is only in the desire and the form realms, and or the four aggregates. So four aggregates in the formless realm, because in the formless realm there is no form. So it is simply, according to this school, a person is simply a designation or labeling given to the a gathering of five or four aggregates. So this is how they define a person. It's simply designation or labeling. And therefore, as we mentioned before, it doesn't exist from its own side, but rather exists simply at the level of, conceptual thought and imputation. So this is exactly what consequent school define or interpret what a person is.
Thank you. Tawa telam bad, tinju telam bad. Hajar democracy jungla, pe mise mangze jungla, pe thumbu mangpore. Pe na mangze usho luni, pe leje president da ta chi secretary da kanga usho luni ko yundi kala, ko tangpu ni reya marte, ning de ta khola pe chi kanga loni chi sidiga, korang ane nga president indo loa chi loa. Ni gwane ko president imbe kuijap chi loa. कोई लेगा खर्च ना कोई सेंजी क्या ना प्रेसिडेंट को कुछ हुआ ठीक रंग वनी यो है ना को आमन की दिन यो होता रंग में क्या मिलते पता उन्हें से दो तो आमन की दिन दो प्रेसिडेंट से दिन दो एलेन करंट आमन की दिन वाला सेक्रेटरी रेमी दो ओबामा President Chane Helen Clinton Secretary Chaso. Remember me can neither Paradise Mina? The Koran Aman Hidden Yongura. Koran to Tiana. Money did not a Mazijon the Tumbutuas, Mongochi.
Also, this way of interpretation of consequent school has a strong compatibility with the democratic system. This is, especially when we look at how, leaders are elected. For example, president is simply a designation or labeling given to somebody, and so once he or she is given the name president, he considers himself as the president, and the people, the citizens, they accept that recognition, and whatever president does or sign becomes the responsibility or his own, according to his own, it becomes his job. and likewise with the secretary. So this presidentship and secretary are not does not exist from from its own side. Otherwise, President Obama has to be president right after the time he was born, but that is not the case. He became only president only after election, when he was given the name president, and there is a kind of collective recognition of presidentship and likewise secretary.
Lindiwala tatu sesangdana rangon mengjang mingde parda singde wajrag was. What a tegoni moni ngazu tawa tenjung singde la sangdo tegani ra nyetme yabo. Da tanye tota samgi tenjung chame koten tegani la. Itu kita dah ko tele raga chate. Tele yugin da raga chate. Rasho de yugin kita le. Edini seduki tendende. Ta thanye tota samgi tendende tanda kondu yusha be tegan rago wa squat. Teni pe rapate ko.
So this concept of interdependence, the understanding of interdependence based on the merely designation or imputation is considered as the subtle understanding of interdependence, which we can understand by using this metaphor in democratic system. And there are other types of interdependent. For example, interdependent by relying upon each other, interdependent based on cause and effects. But these later two are considered as a more gross level of interdependence and more kind of easier to understand.
Ta kansala damin dije gi chapchinis. Ta damin dije sidgala damin dije dala so dan demba damin dije ta so damin dije ni jago. So dan damin dije de kaza ta pe busi gujo gibi ni tape namchi jini gujo gibi ni yeze ta so da damin dije la jajo. Sorwa yoni. Ta de maimba ta ngarancho Pumba mitapa, kawa mitapa, wata jiru mitapa se du se mitapa ta keji pumba cheni di thangi keji mitapa se wata jeba se ngobo se pumbe ni yugin likhe basa du se kechi shoyi na yi keji jani di thangi keji yuje di kanje soda mitame yuje chaywa wata tigo yanchi kena yabo Demin duce sido duce kana imbala duce kana ni zo mainge sheba mainge sidoare duce kana mainge duce duce kono yabo ngure sido
Page 308. Persons are necessarily compositional factors that are neither form nor consciousness, and the compositional factors can be further categorized into compositional factors with the soul, I don't know, maybe consciousness, or living or non-living or non-living. So the living here can be referred to as whatever beings which has consciousness, which can move, has a feeling. So this all comes under living, and the non-living or inanimate compositional factors refers to the attributes or qualifications. For example, if there is a part or base which is a basis, and then if you use a different attributions or characteristics, for example, impermanence of part or functioning thing of the part, or object, or a part which is the result of cause and effect. So these all comes under the category of non-living or inanimate compositional factors.
Lola tsema na tsimingi lo nisi. Tsema lo ngusum sape tsema, jisu pape tsema nisi. Ngusum tsema lo ombe ngusum tsema, iki ngusum tsema. Najo ngusum ki tsema ta sumi yesi. Taate, kisang ngone mambu yusare. Kota, najo ngusum sidigala, kangnan thamse ngeba yore. Nana mangeba. Najo ngusum da loshe da, trushe da, nana mangu yuni shagyo mare. Kota titu. Kai, ombe ngusumi na, ka nana mangeba yungure. Kota loshe yungure, trushe yungure. Sema sidigala, yul de la matulo jikungware. Kati, sabto milu bidipa, seme tsingi siwa. Ngusum da jisu babata. Deyang, ani, adi, kaji tangpo de, sema jagware. Kaji nipare, yinche la, ani, cheshi jagware. Kajang, ngar mado bichwe, sabto toya kaya mara. Cheba manyamu kone, ta tondo ya mara. Ngar, nipe, adi, tondo ya chide. Yang to tongware. Ele cheshi siwa. Dey kare, luwen chocho ki tende nyingbayo. Ngusum da jisu babata. Ngusum sema tela, ombe ngusum iti ngusum ukurwa. Jisu babata, jiba sema che. Kaji batangbo ni sema inla. Dupa sidigala, ni rangi ngaja ngusu, jin toba mayi jide dubi tingirwa. Dupa da dewa tami tete. Kaji ningimate sema ima pangpa usi. Kaji ningimate sema mare esi. Sema ima pangpa usi. Idigala, kaji ningimate kare sema cheshi. Oto kusti. Haji sunga. Kati chikte.
Lubin suzunga.
Lubin chocho ibayi. Jawa kishwari. Kenten na ibayi. Oto nam kajindi kaji kata beta jenan. Oto rungda jawa shaku.
Next is the awarenesses. Awarenesses are of two types, valid and non-valid. Valid cognitions are of two types, direct and inferential. Direct valid cognitions are of three types, sense, mental, and direct sense, mental, and yogic direct perceptions. We went through this, different types of awarenesses several times before in previous schools. Valid and non-valid. Valid, awareness is the first moment of comprehension, which is not mistaken, and this is. Probably it's from the note from the first chapter of the Perfection, Transcendental Wisdom, Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, by great masters, Indian master Chögyok. He mentioned that the first moment of the perception of sense and the mental is valid awareness, while from the second moment it is not considered as a valid awareness. It's considered as the subsequent cognition, the word that we discussed before in the previous school. And the yogic direct perception, whatever perceives to yogic direct perception, it has to be, it has to be non-mistaken. So to the yogic direct perception, there is no illusion, there is no wrong perception, there is no mistaken perception. But for the So yogic direct perception has to be necessarily non-mistaken. It's asserted by three lower schools: middle way, autonomy school, mind only school, and sutra school. But there's slight differences according to the interpretation of consequent schools regarding the yogic direct perception.
Rari ngusum minde chingis ta tangyu rari ndu mare wata te minde ching simjen yugi wanshila tuchi chap simjen yugi wanshila tuchi de karza danang yo ta tagarang de na ko te ondon rozon najung ngusum chuma tu chanyi yes ta najung ngusum la ta kibar cha chuma tu chanyi ja ko ta kare ja wa ma thu wa de nyamja za me ti ja wa कैसे क्या करता है इंशाल्लाह में कार्जन के कौन जो है जी कर सो रहे देना लो मारे तो देना वो जो पता नहीं चलता लो इंसान इंशाल्लाह में कि मठू छिपाचे ता घरे जाओ और तुझे दे जीतो बा इंशाल्लाह तेरे लाइन उन दुगला कुछ बनावाते होंगे और Kuzo Japan War Papa. Kuzo Nawali. Kuzo Nawali into the Denali. Indula Tashi Jawa, Jawa. Kajikata. Yamjaza making more to be Najamusula, Maduata. Sultan Yuki, how imitamusum of the Najamusum, Tushi images. I think Sultan the only Matobi, a Jaguar. Tushi images. That is, you can take for the Jibuti. Sultan Yuki. Then Midabata, Kazadame Musuntobe, Najamusundela, then I'm your war. But the mind but only thought in nine. Jetaviside, Jetaviside, then I know what. It is at all. Chimaterda, Suki, Shaba images. Chichi no Musum Sama image, Dametabatobe, Kichinipa. Kechi nibate tobar ki ngosum se mata zunju wambe ngosum kechi nibate tome ti ki ngosum se mas topa tome sigdo topa sigala to kanji shawore tome sidu karze yuzen dang tala teni ta yuzen yu ngongji telefon to ngongji na lo topa cha Timaiba Kaptula Pagin Nangina, Tawambe Musunganga, Lotome Chare, Potosini, Ichishawa. Any Toba Sedigala, Ishidi, Iki number Shaba, Tai Shivatundua, Niki number Shavani, Iki number Shava the 2 Yorwa, Niki number Shavani, Niki number Shivapatu, Tome Jaka, Ishidi, Tobashan, Toshi.
What are the one chasing?
Topa Sidigala, Shiva, the vision that they do. Damika to be Shiva Kitchenipa, Kaza Damet of that, Kanzaka Damet of Shiva Kitchenipa, that using you are Mitavina, who using you need song water.
Page 308, the consequentialists do not accept self-cognizing direct perception. So self-cognizing direct perception, they do not accept this or accept this. If you remember from the previous school, there is a consciousness which perceives, there is a consciousness which the object of that consciousness is another consciousness. So there is a consciousness perceiving a consciousness. So here they do not accept self-cognizing direct perceptions. All sense consciousnesses in the mental continuum of sentient beings are necessarily mistaken consciousnesses. So all consciousnesses in the mental continuum of sentient being, they necessarily or has to be a mistaken consciousness. And because as I said before, there is because the mental continuum of sentient beings are tainted by what is called true existence. When we look at things, there is a sort of innate or automatic understanding that to us things exist independently, inherently, intrinsically, which is wrong or mistaken. So whatever the consciousness of sentient beings, according to this school, is mistaken. Yogic direct perceptions, page 309, middle paragraph. Yogic direct perceptions are of two types: mistaken and unmistaken. So according to this school, a yogic direct perception that is in uncontaminated meditative equipoise or on emptiness is unmistaken, and a yogic direct perception of a short-sighted person that directly realizes subtle impermanence is a mistaken consciousness. So yogic direct perception, two types: mistaken and unmistaken. The mistaken is the unmistaken is the direct perception at the level of path of seeing, and within the path of seeing, meditative equipoise. That or another way of saying is understanding of emptiness at the while the practitioner is still in the meditation or meditative equipoise is always unmistaken. And the mistaken is your yogic direct perception of a short-sighted person. If you look at the note, you will see literally one who looks nearby, short-sighted, or that is someone who has not realized emptiness. So a person without having the understanding of emptiness, they said here the subtle impermanence is a mistaken consciousness, or it was that aftermath, period, meditative equipoise and post-meditative equipoise or aftermath. At that time, even with the understanding of the emptiness, the yogic direct perception at that state could be also mistaken, because that is tainted by true existence, and that's his thought. It follows that a yogic direct perception of a short-sighted person is a mistaken consciousness because it is our consciousness in the mental continuum of a common being, page 310. All subsequent cognitions are necessarily direct valid cognitions, for the second moment of an inferring consciousness that realizes that a sound is impermanent is a conceptual direct valid cognition, and the second moment of a sense direct perception apprehending a form is a non-conceptual direct valid cognition. So there's a conceptual and non-conceptual. The conceptual refers to whatever a statement that needs to use reasoning or sign in order to come to the conclusion. The example here: sound is impermanent. Sound is impermanent. It's a conceptual direct valid cognition because sound is impermanent because it's a functioning thing. You have to kind of use reasoning or logic in order to prove that sound is permanent. And non-conceptual direct valid cognition are that doesn't need reasoning. Usually it is the six consciousnesses beginning from eye, ear, nose. When these consciousnesses encounter the object, there is a comprehension or apprehension there. You don't need to go through the reasoning in order to kind of say that you saw something or you heard something. You don't need to use a reasoning. You just heard it. You just hear it. You just see it. This is a kind of direct encountering. We'll take a break here.